the possessed elephant. In the forests of Thailand, there are two kinds of elephants, the large type and the small type. The large elephants are commonly found in the highland forests along the borders of Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar. The smaller kind, known as dwarf elephants, exist only in the southern region. Nowadays, however, they are extremely rare, almost extinct, mostly due to relentless predation by large tigers, which can effortlessly bring down a dwarf elephant for food. Elephants are social animals and prefer to live in herds, though some individuals break away and live alone. These solitary ones are called tone elephants or nga elephants. They live by themselves because they once challenged the herd leader and lost, causing them to be exiled, just like solitary wild boars or gore bulls. Although elephants are large and slow runners, they walk swiftly with long strides. Their skin is thick, though still not as thick as a rhino's, the thickest among Thailand's wildlife. An elephant's trunk serves as both a hand and a nose. Its tusks are used to dig up roots, strip bark, unearth mineral-rich soil, and to fight off enemies. Despite their massive size, female elephants still cannot match a large tiger, which often hunts young or isolated elephants as food. Elephants use their ears and trunk to sense danger. When alerted, they raise their trunks to sniff the air and lift their ears to signal danger to the herd. But once shot, both the ears and trunk immediately drop, signaling a fatal wound. During his years roaming the forest, Mr. Preedy met a formidable elephant hunter named Phet. Phet was from Ban Namrit in Uttaradit province. At that time, Preedy was hunting wild boar around Hoi Kiang Pa, behind the Bang Ton Phueng railway station. Phet hunted elephants for their tusks and meat, which he sold as salted dried meat. As for the tusks, no one knew exactly which shop he sold them to. Preedy and Phet seldom talked except when drinking together. Phet once taught him a protective forest incantation called Itipiso Ruyantia, or the Buddha's crown mantra. According to ancient masters, those who chant it gain many blessings: protection, charisma, invulnerability, empowered weapons, and the ability to ward off misfortune. Phet claimed the mantra had helped him countless times. Years passed and Preedy did not see Phet again until he heard grim news. Phet had been trampled to death by an elephant along the Lao border and later in the jungles near Kanchanaburi. When Preedy visited Kanchanaburi during a school break, he heard more details. Phet, the veteran elephant hunter, had been killed by an elephant in a sudden and brutal encounter. Some said it was karmic retribution. This elephant was called Phlai Thongkham, a magnificent bull, even though both its tusks had been cut halfway. Phlai Thongkham originally belonged to a villager who later sold it for an unbelievably cheap price. When a timber merchant named Heng heard about it, he went to inspect the elephant, liked what he saw, and bought it immediately. The seller warned Heng, "Never speak harshly to it, never ride on its neck, don't work it when you're in a bad mood, don't overwork it, and don't let anyone meddle around the place where it's chained." The previous owner spoke this way because Phlai Thongkham had a dark history. It was a possessed elephant, one that had already killed 2 people. The first was a man who teased it. Seeing the elephant chewing bamboo shoots peacefully, he pointed his gun at it and mocked, "Hey Thongkham, I heard you're vicious. Should I shoot you and sell your meat?" As soon as he turned his back, the elephant coiled its trunk, charged and crushed him flat. The second victim was its own mahout, drunk and careless. The man returned smelling of alcohol, swaying and scolding the elephant with vulgar insults. Hearing the offensive words, Phlai Thongkham snapped. It tore its chain loose, rushed at the man, clamped its mouth over his head and killed him instantly. When Heng brought the elephant home, it quickly proved unmanageable. No one could ride it. Even looking into its eyes provoked aggression. The mahout eventually told Heng that he could not control it. Frustrated, Heng went to see the elephant himself. Seeing it chained, he shouted, "You cursed elephant! Why are you so stubborn? If you keep this up, I'll fill you with bullets. Ungrateful beast!" The moment the insults left his mouth, Phlai Thongkham kicked violently, snapping the heavy chains. It charged straight at Heng, lifting him between its half-cut tusks. smashing him into the ground and grinding him deep into the soil. Heng woke up the next day in the hospital with horrific injuries, his forehead skin torn off, his nose broken, ribs shattered, and both lungs punctured. Miraculously he survived, likely because the tusks hit a buried stone and did not fully penetrate him. Word of this incident quickly reached Phet, determined to protect the villagers and eager for valuable tusks and meat. He set out to hunt. Phlai Thongkham using his trusted rifle. Elephant poaching was widespread near the borders, despite wildlife protection laws. The forests were too vast for authorities to monitor. But Phlai Thongkham was no ordinary wild elephant. It was a possessed, cunning bull. Tracking it was extremely difficult. After 3 days of following its trail, Phet finally found fresh dung on the 4th day. He checked his rifle carefully. Moments later, he heard a faint crack of a branch ahead. He crouched low and crawled silently forward until he saw the large shape of the elephant by a stream. Phet raised his rifle, aimed behind its ear, the elephant's fatal spot, and fired. The gunshot echoed through the jungle. The elephant jolted violently, then charged blindly, smashing into a giant tree so hard that the trunk toppled. A falling branch struck Phet with tremendous force, killing him instantly. The elephant also collapsed nearby. If Phet had not pursued it, he might have lived. But karma follows everyone, human or animal, just as a cartwheel follows the ox that pulls it. The vicious elephant met its end, and Phet, the hunter who had taken countless lives, met his own. This is the tale of cause and effect, of karma unfolding in its own time.